Hey guys, this is Yuri here. I am gonna go over some topics about privacy, your rights, and where we're at in this moment of time. Where all the big five companies that rule the market share in the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 are all starting to update their terms of service and privacy policies. So this is going to be a long lesson, and I hope everybody enjoys the show because it's meaningful and it's important. To understand what rights you have as a citizen. In this day and age, when corporations and media conglomerates are all subtly and behind closed doors working to restrict your voice on any platform. On any service. And how this is all going to pan out in the congressional scheme of our House of representatives and the people that are supposedly allies in this war on freedom of speech. So I'm glad anybody who comes to witness this video and I'm grateful for anybody who's interested in this topic, because right now there is a war going on for your mind, and it's not pretty. If you read the books, 1984, this is exactly the same type of government suppression of the release of information and the monitoring of information in any form making its way to the people. So where do we start? Well, let's look at privacy policies of companies like Meta, of companies like Amazon, and Samsung. This is where you're going to find the most depressing thing that humanity has ever come up with, which is AI governing our God-given liberties. So, let's begin. I want to teach you guys everything that I'm learning, because I think that's important for the next generation to truly understand the shape-shifting methodologies that HR and InfoSec groups utilize to steal information, to extract and exfiltrate data, by manipulating people's sense of authority, sense of leadership, sense of governance, sense of accountability. That's going to be the big one. So what we're here to understand is non-repudiation. We'll start with the definition. Non-repudiation provides proof of the origin, authenticity, and integrity of data it provides assurance that the sender that its message was sent. So we're going to debate deniability. These are the 5 pillars of information assurance. It is the practice of managing information-related risks and protecting information systems like computers, servers, and enterprise networks. The other 4 pillars are the following: integrity, availability, authentication, and confidentiality. Non-repudiation provides proof of the origin, authenticity, integrity of data. It provides assurance to the sender that its message was delivered, as well as proof of the sender's identity to the recipient. This way, neither party can deny that a message was sent, received, and processed. Non-repudiation is like authentication, particularly with respect to implementation. Now, I can go into all the levels of cryptography, but that's going to be a lesson for another day. So, digital signatures include services for authentication, auditing, and logging. Online transactions, digital signatures ensure that a party cannot later deny sending information or deny the authenticity of its signature. This is done through the use of a private key or an asymmetric key pair, which is public key cryptography. Only the private key holder can access this key and create the signature, providing that a document was electronically signed by that holder. This ensures that a person cannot later deny that they furnished the signature, providing non-repudiation. Method authentication code also known as MAC. So we're talking about MAC-based algorithms, ciphers, and hash-based MAC. A MAC can protect against a message forgery by anyone who doesn't know the shared secret key, providing both integrity and authentication. However, the algorithms do not provide non-repudiation. Keyword non. This is used in protocols like IMAP, POP3, Post Office Protocol, instant messaging, access protocol, and they're used to delineate between a sender's ID and a message recipient's secure code. So the first lesson is biometrics. Biometrics, as you all know, or should know, are things like fingerprints, iris images, retinal images. Those are unique to you as an individual. There's also facial, what am I trying to say here? Facial recognition of not only facial expressions, but also unique patterns that everyone has, which are linked to their genetic code. So, bone structure, density, and all the other geometries that can be applied to the structures of our skin organ, bone organ, right? Moving on to authorization and accountability, we find ourselves in the next lesson, which is techniques, tactics, and procedures, TTPs. There is a framework which is called the MITRE, ATT, and CK. This is a taxonomy of tactics, techniques, and procedures. It organizes it into a sense that allows people to look at the trajectory of an attack life cycle and the cyber kill chain. Ooh, fun. So, what do we have here for the cyber kill chain? Are resource development and execution. In these stages are reconnaissance, resource development, initial access, execution, persistence, privilege escalation, defense evasion, credential access, discovery, lateral movement, collection, command and control, exfiltration, and impact.
Good. There you go. And that goes through right. I want to get stuff in there.
So I'm here in my U-Certify third-party provisions online tutoring or educational program. And I gotta tell you, there is a whole lot of flaws that I can see right from the get-go. When looking for bugs or exploits, it's best to be ready to take a snapshot of the current page you're on. So you want to have your print screen key on your keyboard memorized. This is your first line of defense in things like non-repudiation. So, for example, say that you bought $5 of Bitcoin and you sent it to a friend of yours. You want to make sure that there's a receipt of that transaction. So what you want to do is take a screenshot of the transaction ID and the hash of that transaction so that you can keep it in your documents, in your folders as proof that or evidence, the legalese would call it, for accounting purposes. That's number one. You also want to name the folders for the files that you're saving them in. Make sure it's unique and something you can remember. Ugh. The thing about files is they tend to get disorganized. And everyone has to have a way of maintaining a history of all of your financial receipts, as well as corporate trades or transactions. And you also want to have a system where all of those backups are set to be deleted. So this can be in a digital sense, and it can also be in an analog sense. So you want to have copies of your let's say ledger, orders filled, files, products received, credits and debits, files, on your balance sheet, set to be sent to the paper shredder. Along with being accountable for your actions, You also want to have reports from the auditors. And build a system where you can access the audits so that you can review them and you can shred the documents at the end of their lifespan. So that they don't pile up too much. And become an obstacle in your surroundings. That's one of the biggest lessons that I can teach you guys. There's a balance of managing the files and also returning everything to source. For example, shredding, degaussing, yeah, there's a lot of machines that recycle old information, and you have to have a system to keep everything in order, or else it will become a stumbling block. So there's ways to recycle your old paper. With shredders, and then you can reuse it as mulch in your garden. And there's ways to recycle old batteries, and have it be turned into scrap. Basically, anything that is heavy metal, like copper or steel, has a value, and you can take that to the scrap metal companies, and they will return a percent of that scrap in the form of cash. So that's really important. Save your batteries. Save your metal. Take it to the scrap dealer. And get back that currency which you so very much deserve in your enterprise.